Okay, I'm going to make a video for 10x because some people can't actually visit the live streams, right? Even though I post the timestamps afterwards, sometimes I still get the request to create a dedicated video, right? So let's just go ahead and get this started now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a raw price action and technicals thread of analysis here for the ticker symbol 10x. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so you're looking at 10x on the daily chart here, and it's very important to look at it on the broader perspective first before we dive into to see the potentials of the shorter time frames, right? And in this particular situation, we're looking at a very bullish setup. Okay, so you're looking at test number 1, 2, and 3 of the resistance on this broadening descending wedge. Usually test number 4 comes out to be the actual test to break out, or the true breakout test of the resistance, right? Please just know that that's per the playbook rules. I'm not saying that we're going to be here at $2.19. I'm just saying that that's per the playbook rules. I understand there are warrants. I understand of whatever else everybody's telling me regarding the fundamentals, but if you know who I am, you already know that I don't focus on fundamentals. I focus on mathematical models. Okay, you guys. So let's continue on the analysis. Okay, so now we can actually come back down to the shorter time frames. Okay, so I want to show you what we're doing on the hourly chart. Okay, because the hourly chart is signaling a potential something coming up. Okay, and what exactly could I possibly mean with that terrible lingo? Okay, well, if you go ahead and connect these trend lines just like this, you will notice that we are in the process of building a symmetrical triangle, right? So or a pennant, right? So this is very good on the hourly, right? So of course the shorter time frames do have a lesser hit rate, but nonetheless it's still in the books, and it looks like we're following it pretty nicely, right? So we already have test number 1, 2, and 3 of the resistance here. Potential, I mean, just by raw price action here, potential pullback to about the area of about 65.97 before an actual attempt to break out a number 4. Okay, that test number 4 of this resistance here, which would be very good. In order for us to gain price objective per this formation itself, you can actually take a trend line from the top side of the triangle to the very lower end, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up like that, right? And potentially take us to this level. Okay, so please remember that these formations tend to break out usually when we're at about 65 to 70% to the apex of the triangle. Okay, so in this case, we can apply this trend line to the supposed area of breakout. Okay, so let's just say that this would be it here, right? So that means signaling potentially tomorrow, right? So let's just go ahead and apply it there. Okay, so upon applying it there, it already takes us to a target that we were already looking at, right? And why are we looking at that target in particular? Well, the simple fact that we actually have, I'm sorry, hold on just a sec. This is particular to a higher time frame. Let me just show you like this. Okay. Sometimes it's a little hard to be able to show you everything, right? But I know that I want to show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so yeah, the top side of our resistance is right at the 1.618 geometrical level at about 90.05. Okay, so 90 cents or just over it. Please notice that the triangle price objective is taking us very similarly to the top side of this wick right over here. Okay, so that's, I mean, it's already signaling that we are potentially going to find that resistance within that area. Okay, so now this particular zone that we're looking at right down here is the 1.272. Of course, the line just moved just a little bit, right? Those were actually very, very technical targets for us to look at for potential getting long zones, right? So that's usually something that we talk about within the Discord. So if you are interested, please go ahead and just click on the links in the description below. All right, you guys. So yes, very likely this price action is suggesting the touch between these zones here, 83.83 and about 90.11 total. Okay, which would be well, I mean, actually take into account the 1.618, 90.05 instead of 90.11. The box is not as accurate as it could be. Right. So, yeah, so that's essentially what I'm looking at for 10x. Now, how are we going to validate the upside or downside? Well, we can use momentum. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take that into account now. Okay, so let's reference, first of all, the fact that we have the stochastic momentum oscillator suggesting an upside pivot. Okay, and usually this is a very, very bullish thing when we're coming out of critical contraction, okay, which is usually found within the 15 percentile or 10 percentile of the BBWP. BBWP indicator is volatility itself. Okay, so you gotta, you usually want to pair this with momentum-based indicator so that you can gauge the bias for direction, because volatility is direction neutral. Okay, so let's go ahead and just reference the daily volatility, and this is yet again a very important metric that we're looking at here. Okay, you guys, this is us at critical expansion and starting a contraction phase alongside stochastic momentum with an upside pivot. Very important signal for us to consider, okay? Because this oval is essentially what I teach everybody, right? In our, we get upsides from these types of moves, right? Here's an oval again, huge upside, right? So it's an oval because you're looking at an oversold percentile of stochastic momentum, very similar to an RSI, and contraction phase starting. Right, so within this types of move, we get this little oval, right? So we're getting it again. So it's a very high likelihood that we can actually face an upside coming in soon. All right, so now looking at the buy daily, please notice that we have that set up just like we were talking about, right? So here are my drawings. It's just I'm showing people this, right? So on the live streams. So yet again, critical contraction here, upside pivot on the stochastic momentum, buy daily chart carries a lot of weight. Okay, so now let's look at the 3-day. So 3-day, same situation here. We're about to start that upside. We're about to get the contraction phase from critical volatility. Okay, so this is a very good thing, guys. I'm looking at now if we're going to reference the shorter time frames, then we can see what could be in line, right? So now let's actually match it with the RSI to see what we have in the immediate short term. So immediate short term, 30-minute, suggesting an upside. We do have that 14-day simple moving average below us, which is great, suggesting a continuation. Let's go to the buy hourly. All right, buy hourly now pivoted towards the upside with a 14-day simple moving average pitched to the upside. Remember, your purple line is your RSI signal. The pink is the 14-day simple. All right, so and this is very much in accordance with what we're looking at on the hourly time frame for this pennant. Right, so what I was talking about is potentially finding the resistance here, then coming back down to, like I said in the beginning of the video, right, coming back down to the area of about 65.97 before an actual breakout. The reason why I said that is because the hourly RSI is facing a resistance from the 14-day simple. Very short term though, very likely to continue on to the upside. And in fact, the buy hourly is the validation or the validator for a continuation to the upside, as we do have that 14-day simple below us. Let's go ahead and now look at the 6-hour RSI. Go ahead and notice that we are in the bull weakness percentile right over here. This is the bull strength percentile. This is the bear weakness and the bear strength. Okay, that's why I have these lines here on my ARC RSI. Okay, so we are suggesting an upside continuation here. We still have that 14-day simple below us. Very good. Let's look at the 12-hour. The 12-hour now with a pivot to the upside. Very good. The important thing here is that we're outside of the gravitational zone from the bear weakness percentile. Okay, so this is good. All right, now focusing on the daily, we have an upside pivot here. Very, very convincing upside, by the way. The buy daily now making a very important cross above that 14-day simple moving average. Okay, so this is also a very important thing for the upside or for the longs, right? So now as we go into the 3-day, you can see actually we can face a potential resistance from that 14-day simple. Now, if I were to be as clear as I can be in reference to that 3-day resistance, then let me go to the 12-hour and see what we have. Then yeah, very likely over the next maybe I would say, okay, remember there's a lot of sentiment behind this, a lot of psychology. But if we were to play the movement just like we normally do without any psychological means to this or components, then the upside of about 90 cents from the current 68 cents would essentially be realized around 4 to 6 days, right? But in this case, there's a lot of sentiment behind this, potential little bull flag here in the 12-hour. I hate those formations, by the way. They don't have a good strike rate. But yeah, we can essentially realize in a day or even in an hour, right? But playing by the playbook rules, it looks like it's about 4 to 6 days away. But yeah, remember, FOMO would essentially just invalidate that and take us straight there, right? So that's what I'm looking at for ticker symbol TENX. You guys, everything is looking very good. Full transparency, I'm definitely long this ticker with an average of about I'm actually right at the average right now. I think it's 67.02. right? So at the 786. All right, you guys. So remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be just fine. Please go ahead and refer to the links in the description below if you would like to join the ARCa Bulls trading community, or join me or say hi to on Twitter. All right, you guys. But with that said, yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. But with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.